Hi guys, I'm Shmee. Hello, good morning, and welcome back to the channel where today you join me for a first drive in the new Shelby GT500. Of course, I've just announced that one of these is to be a future Shmee-mobile, a new car in the garage out here in the USA. Today though, there's going to be a lot of that as we experience the cars out on the road, out here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway on track, and also later on over on the drag strip where they have just announced and we can now release that the 0 to 60 mile an hour time is only 3.3 seconds and the quarter mile just 10.7. Don't go anywhere though, because later on we're going to be jumping in with Billy Johnson for a hot lap here on track in the GT500 to see what it can do at 11 tenths when driven in anger. I can't wait. A first drive then in the future Shmee-mobile. Let's do this, the Shelby GT500. We've got the sounds of the cars grumbling away. That looks really quite nice actually, but this is my car for the road drive so far then. The angry brute of a Mustang, the Shelby GT500, and it all started back in 1967 with that. 50 years or so on, and we now have the new car, based of course on the current generation Mustang with the supercharged V8, making 760 horsepower. This car has the track package, it's in the twisty orange, you've also got the black stripes along the side, also over the roof, you've got the carbon wheels, the fixed carbon rear spoiler, this gigantic picnic table at the back. I'm loving the sounds though coming around, all kind of engulfing the surround here. Of course, I've driven here with my Ford GT, which is moderately crazy on its own, parked in that little line in front of the Ford Performance truck. But this, well, a first drive then in the GT500. We're going to be taking this out to experience what it's like. And we've had a quick look, of course, when I was able to announce that one of these was coming. Driving impressions have been slightly under embargo, but today it is time to find out. GT500 on the roads, a long-awaited car, a car I can't wait to test, so let's do this. Before I even move an inch, I've been looking forward to driving this car ever since it was introduced. Today though is the opportunity to do so, and we're going to be heading out towards Mt Charleston first for some twisty road driving, and then back to the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. This is going to be an epic day. We've got the double clutch gearbox, turn the toggle in the center like in the GT into drive, and here we go then, heading on out with that deep grumble to go and experience the GT500. Out of the track then, the first thing is going to be a little bit of highway to get over towards the twisty roads. So at the moment everything is in completely normal settings. We are going to change that very quickly. The exhaust mode we can pop into sport or into track, or you can go into quiet mode, but that wouldn't really be very much fun. Driving mode wise, we're currently in normal. You can also put that up through a few different settings, including sport. You've got buttons on the steering wheel for your suspension and your steering. But the deep grumble that you hear instantly, listen to that. Let's go manual actually, drop it down into first gear, listen to this. That's not even hard acceleration, that's just enjoying some of the sound. Drop a gear. That's a good sound. Now technically we should save the fun until we are back at the track later on. We are going to be cruising for this first little stretch, so let's pop it back into drive. Let's be a little bit more comfortable with the car. What can we do with the exhaust? Into quiet mode. Yeah, I can confirm it gets a lot quieter. The different driving modes, you've also got track, drag strip mode, slippery, or normal. We will pop it into normal. Everything has adjusted automatically in terms of the steering and the suspension. Do you know what? This feels really cool, but I can't wait to get somewhere where we can push it a little bit harder. Now we are starting to talk then, some twisty roads, which means we need to get the driving mode up, I think into track even though we're on the road, and the exhaust definitely into track mode. You get a different display on the dashboard. Let's go manual just so we can hear and enjoy some more of this. The V8 is just a grumbly, deep, raucous sound. So we go past another GT500, taking some photos, drop some gears for the guys. Oh, this is cool. The thing is, 760 horsepower, so about 770 metric horsepower, 625 pound-foot of torque, not quite sure what that is in Newton meters. All I know is that it's a lot. They are big numbers when it comes to this car, and yeah, you can tell. This thing's ferocious. Just after that truck's gone by, I'm going to pop down the window.
7-speed Tremec dual clutch gearbox created for the car. Of course it's rear wheel drive, all the power is going to the back. You do have things like electronic line lock, you've got launch control, you've got lots of assistance systems and the different variable driving modes that help obviously with performance. Wow, you can then actually, I think even in track mode, set the exhaust to quiet. Yeah, I've gone all the way through, so let's go back. And even there, if you wanted it to make less noise, you've got the electronic valves. And we're climbing up the mountain, so my ears have actually just popped. But we don't want that at all. We definitely want it in loud mode. Yeah, you can hear them opening up. Got a 12-inch digital display in front of you. A first drive in the GT500. Not a bad way to go about it.
Up here, with these views at about 3,000 meters, 9,000 foot, multiple cars though, and just having an awesome time. This is stupidly cool. And by the way, we're also with Matt Moran and also Jason from Engineering Explained. You guys loving it?
Oh, it's amazing.
So cool, isn't it?
So much fun.
Jason, you enjoying this?
Oh yeah, I am. This is awesome.
What a day with these cars. Yeah, heaven. Oh, that's amazing. These are my kind of roads then. We're actually following Engineering Explained and Matt Moran Motoring. I'm going to pop this back into manual. But we're driving up the mountain. This car, by the way, doesn't have the tech package. So we don't have blind spot monitoring. We don't even have navigation, which of course I guess is a different specification option. I'm sure that I would order those, as most people probably would. But the sounds, the road, those pops you get as well. If we just drop down the gears, as you upshift, you get those pops as it goes up into the next gear. So this car is 760 horsepower. In front of me is 1 horsepower. Literally, there is a horse walking up the road on its own, which I'm kind of reluctant to overtake. But we're at about 9,000 foot elevation at the moment. This is quite, yeah, let's be quite careful. He's like, what's that? And this is just on the road. What is this going to be like when we get to the racetrack shortly? It feels, how do I describe it? The steering feels very firm, it's heavy, but the car isn't exactly a lightweight thing. That's not what it's about. It's using brute power and performance numbers, and then you get this. Oh, this is so much fun. Wow, even at fairly sensible speeds, you've just got a beaming smile on your face, even though the car is incredibly powerful. You can tell that it's 760 horsepower, that's for sure. Very happy to break loose the rear end a little bit. In track mode, of course, it puts the traction control, the ESC, into a sportier setting, but I just want to shift it endlessly. And I know there'll be loads of discussions about the fact that it's an a double clutch gearbox rather than having a stick shifter, as they would say out here, a manual gearbox. And oh look, we've got a deer, I think, running across the road up front. You've got to be very careful for all the wildlife around here. I think we are in a national park, but I think the character of the car for track performance, of course, dictates that you want to have an auto gearbox, and we'll experience that later on. Perhaps the manual would be more engaging. I suspect that's definitely the case, but it's not like this isn't engaging, and those snaps that you get on the shift, you just can't shift that quickly yourself. No chance. So, yeah, big smiles out here on the road, driving in an incredible location with stunning views, and making a lot of noise while we do it. From the road then to the drag strip. It is pretty windy here, but we're going to be doing some line locks and some launch controls to see and enjoy the cars blasting all the way down, as well as having a go to see if we can match that 10.7 second time. Now I will point out it is rather windy. We've also got some more colours and specifications of cars here, the strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, but we will be seeing this car doing a launch in just a second, and I think that's the one that I'm going to be driving as well. But let's see how it gets on and how it sounds blasting all the way up here. You can see a previous run, 11.37 we've got there at 127.76 miles per hour. It is time though, the car is staged. Let's take a listen to the launch control of the GT500 here on the strip.
to be fun then. We are in currently drag strip mode, so that gives you drag suspension. The rear softens to enable the car to have a bit more power. We are in advanced traction control for the drag strip. We have the exhaust in track mode, making extra noise. Basically, the car has the whole modes completely set up. So let's pull on up to the line then to have a little bit of fun with this. I've had a quick instruction run so that I know exactly what I'm doing to use the line lock and to use the launch control. But I will talk you through this as we prepare here on the full drag strip. So how you get into the line lock is to press the snake button, track apps, there we've got line lock, press and hold OK to initialize. Then what you've got to do when it's initialized, press down firmly on the brake, that's simple, press OK to begin, you can hear it locking, and now it is time to make some smoke. That is absurd. I think I just sent quite a big smoke cloud off behind me. Now though, we're gonna go line up and do us a launch control. Okay then, staging area. This is always the nerve-wracking thing, to not jump the gun. Take it easy, get the first light on. There we go, get the second light on. So we're in the staging area, which means ready to engage launch control, foot on the brake, foot on the throttle. That's all you have to do when it's enabled. Wait for the lights to go out, and then off we go. Let's do this. And away we go. That was really quick. You can feel the power pushing you away. Yeah, drag strip monster. It sounds epic as it downshifts as well. Wow, that's really cool. The car has all of these bits of tech functionality installed out of the box to just go ahead and do that, and they've been doing hundreds of runs with these cars, lots of people driving them. The tyres are still good, still in the original tyres I believe, just having fun, letting everybody do proper drag racing in the GT500. So what time was it then on the slip? 11.349, reaction time 0.655, 11.399, that's pretty quick. There's another line lock happening just behind me. That's pretty insane. So literally, that's 10.7. That is 10.7, bang on the nose. Epic.
Well, this is just awesome. Listen to that. All smoke. Having a lot of fun here at the drag strip with the various cars. Topping off, well, part two, I suppose, of our three parts of the drive. And I will point out also, by the way, there is quite a headwind, probably about 15-20 mile an hour or so of headwind, which obviously hinders time, and it would be a touch quicker. But we have this quite quick rotation of everybody coming through, having some fun. Anyway, I think I'm going to get over to the racetrack to go and drive this car in anger out on circuit. That was absurd. That was absolutely absurd. Oh, amazing. Now then, it is time to hit the track, and the cars for the track are ever so slightly different. They actually have roll cages installed in the back so that we've got harnesses, I think 6-point harnesses, also a radio intercom as well. But they're all going to be dialed into track mode, obviously to go out and have the most fun on at the track here. Just had the briefing. It is quite unsighted. You can't really see all that much as you're going around. Obviously very flat, desert style terrain, but looks quite technical, looks quite challenging, and I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun. He says as we can
hear some cars blasting around, and obviously having some fun in the background too. Out we go then. So we are driving in track mode. We've got 1 out lap, followed by 3 flying laps. I am going to be taking it a little bit easy to get familiar with a track that is hard to see. Because it's quite flat and we're in the desert, the terrain changes don't really help you with the different corners, so we will ease into this, but immediately the sound, the grunt, the anger of it, driving it automatic. I'll play around with manual in a little bit. We've got some cones out just to help make life a little bit easier. Wow, the sound of this thing. Wow, solid braking performance. All right, down the start straight. Hear all of that noise. This thing gets a move on, firm on the brakes to test them. Wow, loads of stopping power, almost too early there. Let's get a bit familiar with the track before we go too crazy. Track mode, everything off. You can feel the 760 horsepower. This thing comes to life. Let's hold it tight through here. Out of it. Really impressed with that. Onto the brakes, keeping it tight through the hairpin. Don't go too early on the power. And unleash. Now we've got a really tight corner. Oh, what a driving experience. This is fantastic. Very quickly, over 120 there, but a terrain change as well. I am loving this. There's so much grip and control, and the sound is just monstrous. The sound is just absolutely ridiculous. Through the chicane, use some of the curbs. Run out wide. Fantastic time. We're catching the cars in front though, so we are going to have to back off. But it just clings on so well. Even the weight transfer is manageable. Wow. Firm on the anchors. Ahead as well, with the other cars backing off just a touch then. I'm going to press it back into auto. I've been really impressed by the gearbox actually in auto mode. It's very much ahead of what you think you want. And yes, it shifts incredibly fast, sounds amazing when it does it. Just driving a little bit more gently with the cars in front. But it's actually a riot to drive. It's just really entertaining. You get a great sense of the fun of the car. It doesn't want to slide around. It has so much grip, thanks to the tyres and the aero grip, that actually braking out of traction is, well, certainly as it's set up right now, not the easiest thing in the world to contemplate doing. But just driving around with this line of GT500s. I am loving this, absolutely loving this. It's those upshift cracks that you get out of it that are really, really cool. But, I mean, without being silly, it's the traction that amazes me the most. You can, like, kick it hard, and it really doesn't want to go. That's how much stick it has. And that just allows you to drive it so confidently, so quickly. Okay, it's not the lightest. The steering feels surprisingly good. The braking is surprisingly good. In fact, everything about the car is surprisingly good. I'm quite happy with this, as you can tell. Really enjoyable. I hoped I was going to like it, and I really, really am. Sadly though, for me, that is the end of my driving stint. But the road, the drag racing, and now on the track, and I've got a massive smile on my face, and that is what it is all about. Being entertaining in all different driving environments. So good, so much fun with the new Shelby GT500. It is hot lap time on board here. We are joining Billy Johnson. How are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Very good. Billy, of course, Ford GT race driver. Let me take a step inside, get harnessed back in to experience this. Track.
Track, everything's turned off. So no traction control, no stability control, which are both great systems, and I'll show you how well it puts down power without those systems, but also I'll show you how you can have fun without those systems.
Bring it on. I tell you what, you can feel that power from the passenger seat. On the brakes. Wow.
So, turns in, has a lot of front grip, get it rotated, and then full throttle, power down. No wheel spin, no oversteer. Puts down 760 horsepower without traction control, just from the chassis setup. Full throttle, look at the turning, we're turning a lot, and putting that power down. 110, 120, 130.
Whoa, the brakes!
A lot of downforce, stability, and high speed.
Wow.
Compliant over the curbs.
God, it takes the curbs well.
And puts down all that power. So then, this car should not be able to do this. Right here. Rail brake oversteer easily.
Well, that was clean.
So with a front engine car with a front weight distribution, cars like that don't just entry oversteer like that. It's just so playful, just flick it in.
Tightening apex corner sideways. Beautiful. Wow. What can I say? That was epic. Thank you very much.
Thanks for riding with me. It was fun.
That was so cool. That was so cool. What a way to wrap up the day. Woo! I need a moment just to kind of like chill.
It was that good?
It was that good. That was really good. What a ride. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Woo, good times. Let's take a step outside. But driving the GT500 then, what are my thoughts and feedback? Of course, muscle car, loads of power, you can tell that. Out on the roads, popping it into track mode, give it all the beans in the back is kind of swimming around a little bit, obviously. Getting here though, way more traction than I ever had expected out of it. Steering wise, feels good when you're driving kind of in the middle. When you're driving slowly, it's not all there, and when you're trying to turn, the turning circle is pretty shocking, to be completely honest. That sounded so good. Steering wise, ride very firm. The ride is really firm. Of course, all of these settings that you can change, but even in the softest, it's still a pretty firm and solid ride. Noise, heavenly. Cars like this, like, yeah, I'm a little bit lost for words on that. Even just maneuvering slowly, you can hear that deep grumble from it. So epic. You get the point. They sound insane. So a first ride then, in what I think is going to be the future Shmeemobile. I'm going to work on that, depending on the different specs and things and what's possible. I'll have updates in due course
as well on what's going to be joining the GT in the garage. Today though, here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the first ever drive in the new Shelby GT500. What an epic day this has been. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. As always, do be subscribed for plenty more adventures with GT500s here on the Shmi 150 channel again in future. For now though, thanks again guys, and I'll see you very soon. Cheers!